Hello and welcome to Mad City Podcast. I'm going to skip the ad recording for today's little piece. Originally, I was just going to do this as sort of like a Tuesday teaser to talk about an upcoming episode that I'm going to be doing and tell you a little bit about who my guest will be and share something with you that daily reflection reading from today that is part of the literature from Narcotics Anonymous. I have no qualms or issue with mentioning that by name specifically because in case it isn't already evident and obvious, I do not represent that organization. I'm merely a part of it. I'm not the poster child. I do not speak for them as a whole. In fact, the only group or thing larger than myself that I really feel totally confident and without shame can 100% speak for is the city of Madison, in which I'm from. Because, as I've said before, and will say again, I am the most Madison motherfucker that you will ever meet. So, there it is. Hence the name, Mad City Podcast. It's not just the town I'm from, it's also because we are clearly mad. At least I am. But you know, a lot of things can make you mad, as it were. Not just angry and upset, but deranged and looking for some answers, I guess. Just because shit gets so fucking weird sometimes that it's almost like, is this the real life? Is this reality? Just caught in a landslide, no escape. So, I fucked it up. God damn it! I messed up the lyrics. I'm sorry, Freddie, wherever you are. Don't haunt me. Actually, yes, haunt me, Freddie Mercury. That would be awesome. That would be fantastic. If I could be haunted by anybody, it would be that would be cool. But anyway, so I wanted to talk about this reading for February 16th. The headline, the heading of it is Faithful Feelings, and there's a little quote from another piece of literature that goes with it. And of course, again, this should go without saying, if you've reviewed any of my previous podcasts, know me at all, have known anything about me over the course of at least the last 11 and a half years, know that I'm a person in long-term recovery, and what that means is that I have had long stints of abstinence from all drugs, with the exception of nicotine and tobacco, and even short periods without nicotine for 3.5 years plus 5 months, and every time I was ever incarcerated, and away from hard drugs. And then there's been times where I've gone back to using, to drinking, for brief and sometimes extended periods of time. As it is now, I'm almost 4 months away from my last drink, and several more months from my last use of any illicit drugs. Aside from using, over-the-counter medications and prescribed trazodone to help me sleep on occasion. I'm pretty much just sucking down cigarettes and coffee on the daily. And that's something that I will, address at some point when I feel comfortable and confident in doing so. I wanted to talk about this reading briefly. And what it's describing is, here, I'll read the heading. When we refuse to accept the reality of today, we are denying faith in our higher power. This can only bring more suffering. I am already just messing this up. Excuse me, hold on. Some technical difficulties. There we go. hopefully I can be heard a little better now. I don't have to yell across the room. So the reading goes on to say, some days just aren't the way we wish they would be. Our problems may be as simple as a broken shoelace, or having to stand in line at the supermarket, which I find hilarious because I work in a supermarket. I deal with people having to stand in line all the time. And I do my best to keep people engaged and entertained and feeling comfortable and knowing that in that brief moment that we share together that they are the most important person in that line. Not to say that anybody else in that line is not also important, but in that particular moment they have my divided attention. Exclusive attention. Case in point, last night I was left alone for the last 3 hours of work and had to stay an hour late in order to close and clean up because I was abandoned by the rest of my team, essentially. And it got pretty crazy there. Like, the line was literally going all the way through the store, and some people got so impatient that they abandoned their shopping carts, and I had to put all that stuff away after we closed the doors, which takes a lot longer than you might think. But I didn't get angry. I didn't get, I didn't blow my top or anything. I was just a little frustrated and confused as to why the two people that clocked out at 8 o'clock were then coming through the line themselves at 8:45 with items that they were wanting to purchase. It's like, if you guys had to leave right at 8, if you had to clock out right at 8, you could have saved us all some time by staying on the clock, which you would have been paid for, and helped, move the line through, and then they could have gotten their items and been on their way in probably less time. So anyway, somebody else will probably end up talking to them about that. I cannot be held responsible for the comfort and pleasure of everyone all the time. But, I kept it together. And then the reading goes on to say, or we may experience something far more serious, such as the loss of a job, a home, or a loved one. Either way, we often end up looking for a way to avoid our feelings instead of simply acknowledging those feelings, or that those feelings are painful. So I read this earlier today. I shared about it in a meeting with some people, and I recorded something earlier, much like what I'm saying now, but without the current knowledge that I have. I'll go on with the reading and then I'll come back to that. It says, no one promises us that everything will go our way when we stop using. In fact, we can be sure that life will go on whether we're using or not. We will face good days and bad days, comfortable feelings and painful feelings. But we don't have to run from any of them any longer. We can experience pain, grief, sadness, anger, frustration, all those feelings we once avoided with drugs. We find that we can get through those emotions clean. We won't die and the world won't come to an end just because we have uncomfortable feelings. We learn to trust that we can survive what each day brings. And then it closes with, just for today, I will demonstrate my trust in God by experiencing this day just as it is. Okay. Now, I don't want you to be under the impression, if you're not familiar with Narcotics Anonymous text, this is not a religious text, and it's not a religious organization. They consider themselves spiritual, not religious, which I know can sound like a cop-out. It's a little wishy-washy and, waffling on the fence kind of thing. But, personal opinions aside, I find comfort in knowing that as an organization, they encourage spirituality, feeling oneness and connectedness with others and, the world around them, and a higher power if one wishes to designate a singular being or presence or an idea as their higher power. That's fine if it gets them through the day. I don't share a lot of the beliefs that many people have, and that's fine, because there's no rules about what anybody has to believe. I will say, though, that I do find great comfort in feeling connected to what I'm always feeling connected to. I don't know, and I would never presume to have the details of that. I don't know how that works. It's beyond my pay grade, and I'm fine with that. I don't put myself out, and I don't delude myself by thinking that I have to have all the answers, or that I do, thinking that I do have all the answers. So, what I get from this reading is that, as it says in other forms of NA literature, that the spiritual aspect of the disease of addiction is our self-centeredness, that feeling of utter aloneness. Addiction tends to cause people to isolate themselves because they feel isolated and alienated from the rest of the world. They don't understand that other people can relate to them in a lot of ways, and no matter how similar a painful situation might be, or even a happy situation, we kind of box ourselves in and then use that as an excuse or a reason, if you will, to what's what I'm looking for, to alienate others, or to exploit relationships and situations. So, it's easy for someone to say, oh, like, I had the worst day, or I had such a shitty day, or I'm having a shitty day, or, I had a terrible morning, or my afternoon sucked, or God damn it, what a night, as it relates to some situation that affected us in some psychological or emotional way that we're carrying on into other circumstances, situations, and relationships. And what a lot of that, I think, has to do with is, that self-centered aspect of it, but what it goes more into is this feeling of victimization, that something is happening to you, and not just something that you're witnessing or are simply a part of, or that when something good happens, we can say, like, oh, this happened for me, even, because we see the benefit, how it benefits our situation and circumstance. So, like, oh yeah, this was a blessing for me. I've heard people say, like, well, the pandemic really kind of worked in my favor because of whatever area, whatever field of work they're in, like, their business picked up where others, suffered a loss. That's just circumstantial. It's not like there's some higher being, I don't think, out there picking and choosing who gets to reap the rewards, of a shitty situation, and who's gonna, have to scrounge and scrape through. I don't think gods and higher powers, as a lot of people describe them, operate that way, or would if they existed. I'm sorry to say if. I'm going to offend anybody. You're listening to an atheist. What can I say? I shouldn't apologize, and I'm not gonna. I don't mean to piss anybody off or hurt anyone's feelings. I'm not convinced, and it's not because of a lack of proof or evidence. It's just because I just don't think it's plausible. Any god that I would believe in and worship wouldn't be a dick like that. And if the God that people talk about is so wonderful, then I don't know. I think the message is just getting lost. Anyway, so yeah, this idea that, like, your day can be ruined because something bad happens, and then we, we exploit the situation and we get into feelings of self-pity and victimization, like, oh, this happened to me and now everything sucks. And, we feel like we've been attacked, like our time was robbed of us, like our happiness, our comfortability. And, that's the thing about being an addict too, is we have a really difficult time dealing with being uncomfortable, whether it's physical pain or emotional pain, or just simple anxiety, like unexplainable anxiety that we can't even really dig around and find a source of. People will use drugs to mask that feeling of uncomfortability or to convert it completely into something else. And people use other things. It's not just chemicals like heroin or alcohol or tobacco or marijuana. People use food, quote unquote eating your feelings away. People impulsively buy a lot of crap they don't need. People gamble. People cut themselves. Other forms of self-harm. I consider my continued habit of smoking a practice of self-harm. It's really no different than how a person experiences the satisfaction, gratification of dragging a blade across their skin. Except, I don't know, if I did that, I'd probably be in better shape because most razor blades don't come equipped with cancer, So, yeah. Minus, like, a wound getting infected, tetanus or something like that. Yeah, it'd probably be all right. But it's a way to control, to feel like you have control over a situation. So it's not the situation that gets us all bent out of shape and flustered and frustrated and worked up or feeling victimized. It's our reaction to those feelings that I think ultimately plays a bigger part. If something happens that makes me uncomfortable, that I'm not having a good time dealing with, or I simply don't know how to deal with, and I resort to using a substance or an unhealthy behavior, what I'm trying to do is demonstrate some authority, some power in my world, in my existence, so that I don't have to feel like such a victim, so that I don't have to feel like a tourist in my own emotions. So that can be done, by putting pain, causing pain on my body, or playing around with the chemicals in my brain, or weaponizing my feelings against others, trying to be dominant in some other relationship or social situation. There's other things too. I'm sure just are escaping me. But I think that it's the reaction to the uncomfortability that gets us in trouble. That's what this reading I think is talking about, is when we refuse to accept the reality of today, we're denying faith in our higher power. Meaning that, the universe or whatever, it has put before us the world as it is, and we can either accept it or we can't, or won't. And if we choose to not accept the world as it is, life on life's terms, it can get us into trouble. There's going to be friction and adversity, and a lot of it will be very unnecessary. Sometimes it is necessary to push back against things and try to mold a situation into what you think it needs to be because it's unjust, and maybe you think that by righteously pushing against it you can cause effective positive change. A lot of times that will not work in our favor. It'll be counterintuitive, counterproductive. But if we can simply accept that something is what it is, appreciate the feelings associated with it, however strong and seemingly unbearable they are, we can get through them. And if we've dealt with something like this in the past and maybe did not deal well, we can look back on that with some perspective and try to change our reaction to that in the future. Case in point, as I was walking to work, I would have been clocking in probably 5 after 3 because my shift starts at 3 and I'm classically late for everything. So at about 2:55, as I was walking to work, I was about halfway there, I was just a few blocks away. I looked and saw that I had a message from a friend of mine informing me that another friend of mine, a very long-time friend, someone that I've known for almost half my life, half my life, had died of an overdose. And, I've had so many friends die from addiction, either, by way of suicide, getting hit by a car, or being in a car that wrecked, or overdosing on heroin, people drinking themselves to death, or just not taking good care of themselves, and some other circumstance just got the better of them and caused them to perish. It's happened so frequently, and so many people that I've loved have been ripped away from the world because of this. It's like I couldn't list all the people. I mean, I literally can't. It would take me days, if not weeks, to go over my life and count every person that I've lost that that died too soon because of addiction. And I got this news, and it stopped me in my tracks, and I was just like, fuck, I didn't really know what to do, so I just leaned forward and just kept picking up my feet, and eventually it led me into work. But by the time I got there, I was like, I can't be here. No, I can't be here. I can't stand on the front floor and wave at people and say, thank you for shopping here and have a great day, and check people's items out and bag their groceries and act like I'm happy to be there and that everything is cool, even behind a mask. There's no way I'd be able to hide what I'm feeling, and it wouldn't be right of me to impose my grief on unsuspecting patrons of the store. I mean, not that I'm ashamed of showing emotion, not at all, but there's a time and place to share that, and this is clearly one of them. And to do that to a stranger is to to hold somebody hostage, really, and to exploit their vulnerability in that moment, and that wouldn't sit well with me. Somebody did that to me. It's not why I didn't do it, but like, it happened to me. Again, that's self-centeredness, but it's just not right. It's not cool, and it's not my style. It's almost like raping somebody emotionally, to do something like that. So I came in and I went up to my supervisor that's on today, and she asked me, she's like, hey Pat, how you doing? I'm like, not good. I don't think I can be here today. That's what I told her. She kind of looked me up and down, and she's like, okay, just give me 2 minutes and, I'll come talk to you. was like, all right. So I went and sat down off to the side, kind of, just out of the walking space, so I didn't get run over by a cart. And I just started weeping. Like once I sat down, it kind of hit me finally, and I just started to cry. And like my chest felt like it was being stood on, and I didn't get on my knees and wail, sobbing and cause a scene, but I wasn't, necessarily trying to like shamefully hide away either. But in any event, a few minutes later, my supervisor came up and she saw that I was, visibly upset, and she asked me to come to the back office with her, and I was still kind of breaking down a little bit. She went and got me some tissue. That was kind of her. And asked me if I wanted to talk about it. She was very gentle, very good. She actually, she and I we took education courses together in human services when I was becoming a substance abuse counselor myself. And so, we have similar appreciations for how to handle situations like this. And she was very, very cool and decent about it. So I explained the situation, the news that I had just learned, and explained also that I didn't feel confident or comfortable holding the line in this moment with in my current headspace and the way my heart is feeling. I made this mistake before, where I was at work and got wind or word of the passing of a long time, a really good friend of mine, Josh. Again, similar circumstance. He died of an overdose. And I was at work, and I just happened to see something somebody posted on Facebook, and again, I was messaged directly by a mutual friend about this new loss, but still, like, God, I've had the same phone number for 11 years. If somebody could just call me, that would be way better. It would be more considerate, I think, and yeah, I don't know. I'm not trying to call people out or anything, and I know it's sort of like our go-to communication style nowadays, but still, it's like when it comes to something like informing someone about the death of another, have the common courtesy to make direct contact and use your voice. Just hearing the sentiment in one's tone can be very comforting in times like this. So yeah, I was at work when I worked for the college I went to, and I was the only one in the office, and I didn't know what to do. I just sat there and completed my shift for another couple hours just alone by myself with this, and I was just like, and it put a big stint on my ability to grieve. I didn't cry for my friend Josh for weeks. It's like I held up the show, It wasn't until I read a letter that his mother had written about his death that I finally broke down and was able to cry for him. And grief is a really important part of my life. Having lost many friends, also many family members, most notably my father when I was young, other my aunts and uncles, and my grandparents, and of course my son. I've grieved many, and every episode of grief is different. to some degree, there's a little difference in every relationship, but ultimately it all kind of taps into the same reservoir of love and emotion that I have for that person, and the more I love them, the more it hurts, obviously. And my friend that I found out about that died today, I have a lot of love for. I always have. She's a female friend, and one of the few that I never actually had sex with, which is kind of surprising, to be honest with you. And I'm not ashamed to say that it also bums me out that that we'll never be able to share body space. I've always thought she was beautiful, and I've always been attracted to her physically, but our relationship went beyond that. We've been buddies, longtime friends, and we've been in the battle against addiction together for a long time. It's like losing, a fellow soldier, and like to lose someone in battle, is really hard, and that's what it's always kind of like, really. And she's fought so hard. And she acquired a lot of wounds along the way, and she's managed to pick herself up and get back through. And these last few months, I know were hard on her, and she was wearing down. I could kind of see it. She didn't have the same the same gruff in her and growl in her step, in her approach that she used to have. She was tired, so I don't know if that contributed, but I'm reacting to the situation the best way that I can right now. I went in, I explained to my supervisor how I was feeling. They very graciously allowed me to take off. They asked me if I would be able to come in later this evening and then close up. So I'll go back around like 7 or 8 and do that, and that'll be fine. I just needed some time to channel my feelings and focus my thoughts on something that isn't destructive or something that would get me mixed up and swallow me into a fit of despair. I also went to go try to talk to the person who sent me the message of this sad news, because she works just about a block from my store at a treatment center, and unfortunately I couldn't speak to her because she was facilitating a group at the moment. But I talked to one of the other one of her coworkers, another counselor that works there that I know and that knows me and can fully appreciate, and also knew this person who passed away, and totally appreciates like the gravity of the situation and the state that this would put me in. And I was able to just for 5-10 minutes just kind of talk with them about how this is affecting me and what my plan is to do, and which ultimately came to be this. I sit and record myself in process. I'm so grateful that I have this podcast so that I can do this, and when things like this happen, and when good things happen too, I want to share with others the joys in my life, and anyone that listens gets to know and have their faith in humanity restored, that hey, wow, good things are happening in the world. That's awesome. But sometimes sad things happen in the world, and that sucks. But you know, I can sit here, and although I'm grieving, and I know that I this is going to continue. You know, I have to contact her family, check in on them. I imagine that her brother and her parents are devastated. I'll seek to find out if there will be any funeral arrangement, and try to manage a time so that I can attend that and be with friends and family, and so we can help comfort each other through this loss, and celebrate her life as best we can, and you know, just try to be there for one another as human beings who loved someone that loved us so much. But, and unfortunately, just couldn't be with us anymore. So, I will be back with you all soon. I will have a guest, another old friend of mine. We're not terribly close. We've like close acquaintances, I guess. I mean, we've met several times, and we've been in contact with each other, and you know, we've worked in similar fields and been well aware of one another's existence and work in the community for a long time. But you know, it's not like we hang out and, you know, go to each other's house for like Thanksgiving or anything. But anyway, my good friend, I will say yes, she is a good friend. I have a lot of respect for her. Faith Boersma. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. She'll have to correct me if I'm wrong. Boersma? I think Boersma. I'm going to go with Boersma. She's pretty prolific in the Madison area, and as an agent of community and justice. She's done some great work in her association with Black Lives Matter. She's worked in the field of mental health and substance abuse herself. She's studied social work and healthcare management. She knows her stuff. She's highly educated, but she's also very artistically minded. She's got a beautiful soul, and she's a poet, and she has a YouTube channel under the same name, Faith Boersma, which you can find on YouTube, of course. And check out her piece, "My Soul Is Not for Sale." It's really good. It's very powerful, and it speaks to a lot of truth that I have and hold in my life, and I think some of my other listeners would definitely agree with where she's coming from in that. She will be my guest hopefully this Friday, if not then some other time very soon. I look forward to having her with me here and talking a little bit about how she processes her madness in the city. and yeah, we'll talk, and we'll share our thoughts and feelings and crazy with you. So thank you for being with me in this moment. It's always a pleasure, and I hope that you all stay safe. Take care of yourselves, each other, and until next time, this is Pat saying bye for now.
Just kidding.